Good morning, viewers. Welcome to another episode of Khmer Times Cross Talk. It's the New Year. It's the end of the first month of the new year. It's been everything must be new. We are talking about the new international politics. If you are a followers of United Nations. So today we have a special guest on my right, Mr. Fahed Sharaf. Good morning, sir.
Yes, pleasure to meet you.
Yes, thank you for coming here today. We're delighted to have you here. So, our topic we're going to discuss today is the Model United Nations. You know, if you ask me to describe this, I would just call it a mock meeting. I would call it a mock assembly. But I also want to learn more about it. So, Mr. Fahed Sharaf, you are the founder of the Cambodian Model United Nations.
That's correct.
Yeah. Can you tell me about this kind of thing? What is it? I mean, our viewers also want to know about it.
Perfect. So, thank you very much for having me here. Of course, as I am the founder of the Cambodia Model United Nations, today's discussion will be primarily about that. Mm-hmm. So, to give you an explanation, first of all, about what the Model United Nations actually is, it's been around since 1947. Mm-hmm. And as of recently, it's become the talk of the town, with many schools and universities providing such sessions. Yeah. However, with my initiative, the initiative is there, of course, thanks to my father, who's also the senior advisor, Mr. Fahed Sharaf. The initiative is actually there to put Cambodia on the map. So what we have right now is the Cambodia Model United Nations, and it's actually the ASEAN sequel. Mm-hmm. So with the ASEAN sequel, what we're doing is having a Cambodia Model United Nations conference on March 9th until March 11th, and it will be held at Raffles Hotel. Okay. And of course, after that, we'll be in Brunei, in Malaysia, in Laos, in Myanmar, in the Philippines, in Singapore, Thailand, and so on and so forth. Wow. So with our initiative, the idea is to get the best delegates out of Cambodia to also jump to the next stages of each of the competitions. Mm-hmm. So this competition is not exactly, I wouldn't necessarily say it's competition, but there is a best delegate award, which anyone that wins that award will actually jump to the next conference free of charge. Okay. So how do I supposing I want to participate in that? How could I sign up for it? Well, we have a website, okay. www.cmunworld.com. So on our website, you'll actually see the full application form, where you could either apply as a delegate primarily, or as a full delegation if you're coming from a school or a university, if you would like to send them. So what is in our best interest, of course, is to get full-on delegations, because it's actually a promotion for their students, for their school, from their students to their school. So, for example, if a top school in the country sends a delegation, those students will actually be representing that school, and not just in Cambodia starting off. What if they jump on to the next phase, and the next phase, and the next phase? Which, by the way, after all 10 sessions are complete, there will be a final one back in Cambodia with the best delegates from each of the committee sessions that happened in any of the other countries. Invitation only to the best delegates to that one invitation only session. Okay. How long have you been planning for this? Did it take you long? Let's see, December, right around December 16th or 17th, if I remember correctly. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. What would you call the entire campaign? What do you call it? The Cambodia Model United Nations. The Cambodia Model United Nations. Correct. Okay, that sounds so amazing. But do you have the idea, the concept of what the topic it will be like? Well, the topics are yet to be disclosed, to be honest. Oh, we can't disclose them yet because they will be only disclosed 2 weeks prior. This way, all the delegates will have the exact same amount of time, you know, to actually study about their countries and study about that. They can start studying about their countries the moment they apply and are awarded that country, are recognized with that country. But with the specific topics, what their perspective, their country's perspective will actually be, along with their opinion if they would like to add to it, is going to be announced 2 weeks prior. Okay. You know, I studied international study back in college. There is a course on the Model United Nations here, actually. Okay. Yeah, I enjoy it very much. You know, when you play the role of delegate for different countries, getting into the meeting. I found it
very useful, later in life. It give me like the trend in my charisma, my public speaking skill, and something like that. But what about your idea? How do you think this United Nation model United Nation can provide to other Cambodian and maybe ASEAN young people?
Okay, so regardless what age group you're at, by the way, because we're open for participants from 13 years old up until all of high school, university, as well as those in the business sector that are interested in diplomatic matters. If you were to be the kind of student that always feels like they're not having their voice heard, wouldn't it be the best opportunity for you to not only get your voice heard as an individual, but rather as a full country? So if you're assigned a country, you're technically speaking the ambassador of that given country for the time being, for that committee session. Now, if you're able to let your voice be heard, because it's a diplomatic matter where you could actually raise your placard and say, hey, I would like to, for example, point of motion, or along those lines, whatever they would like to raise, if it's a motion they would like to address, or if it's a point they would like to raise, correct? If that's a fact in place, then their voice is being heard, let alone in an unmoderated caucus, which is when the individuals will actually collectively start discussions. So a moderated caucus, of course, will also give you a 1 minute, for example, session, or a 1.5 minute kind of session, where you are not allowed to be interrupted, of course, unless someone has a point of motion that they would like to raise, or point of personal privilege for that matter. But what will it help, and how will it help the youth? It will build your confidence.
Okay.
I promise you. I mean, try participating in one even at your age group. Okay? I recently participated in an online one out of Korea. Starting off, I was still trying to get a grasp back, because the last one that I did was actually 2014 or 2015. It was 2015 in Singapore. Starting off, I promise you, my confidence, regardless of how confident I seem to be, and I am, after that committee session, after that actual experience of the Model United Nations that was online out of Korea, my confidence was much more. And in fact, any discussion that I was approaching, it was actually a matter of, okay, maybe I could approach this in a more diplomatic manner and get the point across. So I mean, it will help anyone regardless, whether it's public speaking, because you're getting the chance to speak in front of other delegates. Roughly around 40 to 50 delegates will be assigned for each committee session, best case scenario. And of course, the aspect of getting it delivered in such a way where you are not, for instance, raising your voice to get an angry point across, but rather in a diplomatic manner. And such a point will actually get you across in a much better state of mind than it would if you were to just be angry about a matter or a discussion.
Yeah. How? I just want to make it clear. So when the delegate, the delegate being designated to the particular country, how you decide that? They draw a lot, or?
Well, no. Actually, on our application form, which can be found on our website, they actually decide to give their opinion on which country they would like to have.
Okay.
Based on our list. If there are still, because we're planning to have 5 committee sessions, for example, UN Women, World Health Organization, DISEC, for example. With such committees, we will be having 5. So realistically speaking, each one could actually have an opportunity to choose a country. Based on what's left and the availability that's left, it will be assigned to them.
Okay. Can you give me like the timeline for everything here? I mean the deadline for the application and so on and so forth.
Good. So the deadline for the application will actually be March 8th.
March 8th.
Yes.
Yeah.
Up until the last day prior to the conference, which will be March 9th. Okay. For those that would like to do a last minute application. Now, of course, if there are still seats available. So what we're aiming to have at the Raffles Hotel is a capacity of roughly 250 delegates. So, of course, what we are seeking is for schools to send in delegations. So if that's the case, then universities, schools are also welcome too. We can also reach out to chambers in the country to see if they would like to send actual members of their chambers to participate, or if it's directed to the parents, in fact, they would like to send their kids to participate in this. So it's a win-win for all. They could either, if they're younger than 13 years old, they're welcome to join as observers. They're welcome to register as observers. If they're adults and they would like to see their kids actually participate in an official Cambodia Model United Nations conference, then they could also join as observers or participate, and then it would be like a family event, in which case they could actually have a diplomatic debate. And how often does that happen? It almost never happens between parents, you know. Now, I mean, I'm thinking out loud at this point. That's a it's an interesting point.
Yeah, quite a unique idea you were talking about here. You mentioned the best delegate awards. Is
Correct.
it like how many could be selected for that? And
so, with regards to the best delegate award, it will be one best delegate for each committee.
oh, okay.
Of course, there will be other awards, you know, for example, best speaker, best position paper, if it's requested at a later time. As of now, the whole idea is to make sure that every delegate that applies knows that they have a chance to participate, and based, of course, on how the chairs decide and the co-chairs decide on who's the best delegate, then they will be announced at the closing ceremony on March 11th. Okay, you have been awarded as the best delegate. You're welcome to enjoy all of the rest of the conferences that are part of the ASEAN sequel free of charge.
Yeah. Or who will be the judges for this award?
It's yet to be disclosed, but we're going to be flying in actual chairs for this.
Oh, now.
So the chairs that we're flying in actually have at least 15 chairing positions
Wow.
in the past. But co-chairs will be from Cambodia. Some chairs may be from Cambodia as well. And as of now, we know for a fact that we'll be having some from abroad.
Okay. Now, I want to go back to the road. Why do you want to do this? I mean, why? I just want to know what in your mind when you decided on this.
Why do I want to do this? Okay, let me put it to you this way. Right now, the whole ASEAN discussion is connecting countries together, connecting sister countries together to help each other out. But the next generation is actually the future. Right now, the adults are maintaining it as much as we can, okay?
Yeah.
But to get the voices of the youth heard, while participating in such a conference that will go in each country within the ASEAN region, wouldn't it make sense that those that are influenced so much by how impressive students are from each country to in the future become really close friends, in which case they could actually come back to Cambodia, make their investments here, or in another way, consider it, people from Cambodia traveling to other countries. So it's to benefit everyone within the ASEAN region. Mm-hmm. In fact, this ASEAN region right now is to bridge the gap between each country, correct? Regardless how it's approached, whether it's approached with adults dealing with business sector, or in such a way where it's the youth that are actually doing it, and then in which case the youth could actually start such discussions, in which case it will also be beneficial. Mm-hmm. So whether it's regarding to the knowledge coming out of Cambodia, because it's the Cambodia Model United Nations, many of the delegates will actually be flying out from Cambodia to participate in the next events. And that's the best case scenario. That's what we would like to achieve. To get the Cambodian education, the Cambodian knowledge shown in other countries within ASEAN, that will put Cambodia on the map. Not let alone the name in itself, Cambodia Model United Nations. Every country that we'll be going to will see the name Cambodia Model United Nations. Mm-hmm. What's Cambodia doing here in this country right now? Oh, they're having the Model United Nations conference.
Nice.
You know? And it's not any conference. It's not a conference that doesn't have a reputation. I believe I sent you the link.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
I mean, the official Secretary General of the United Nations put out a video recently. Mm-hmm. You know? Mm-hmm. So let's say that this could be the first step to diplomatic relations for the younger crowd within ASEAN.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah. You see, we have the Model United Nations all over the world. It has been for a while. We have ASEAN as well. You know, like, is it like possible that someday we're going to do like the Model ASEAN Summit as well?
Well, I mean, it has happened, the Model ASEAN Summit. Will I personally be approaching it?
Yeah.
I'll explain it to you this way. I've been in the country since 2009, on and off. That's roughly 15 years. Okay?
Yeah.
with me spending roughly on and off 15 years in Cambodia, with my father being a Cambodian citizen, isn't it in my best interest to put Cambodia on the map? I mean, this has been home to me, you know?
Yeah.
With my father being a Cambodian citizen, it's literally home, okay? So regardless where I go, Cambodia will be home to me. Yes, Model ASEAN Summit could be something interesting, but for me to establish a starting point for Cambodia, to put Cambodia on the map with all the development that has been put into this country, to showcase it in every other country just by simply showing the knowledge that's been, given to the students, okay? That alone shows how advanced the educational system is in Cambodia. That alone puts Cambodia on the map in such a way where participants from other countries may be so impressed that even they may inform their parents that, wow, the students from Cambodia were so informed about such topics and the way they were negotiating and debating and discussing. Why don't we move there?
All right.
You know?
All right.
And then you're getting people from all across ASEAN, let alone all across the world.
Yeah. So this is the first time that you done
Correct.
That, right? So
it will be the flagship event.
Do you have like any consistent framework for that, like every 1 year, every year, every 2 years or something like that?
Okay, so as of now, unfortunately we are going slightly behind schedule. So what we initially anticipated to do was to start in February, but there was the Christmas break and there was the New Year's break, correct? So there was only a gap of roughly, from the 8th until maybe roughly 23 days. 23 days, if I'm doing the math correctly. We were supposed to start around February.
Yeah.
Okay. I believe school started back on January 8th. We were supposed to start February 1st. So I believe roughly, 23 days if I'm not mistaken. With that being said, now we are behind schedule and there are other schools also confronting, having their committee sessions as well and their Model United Nations happening as well.
Yeah.
So there are some very leading schools having it as well as universities.
Yeah.
So with that being said, our timing right now will be very suitable and convenient for many students. Those that have experience already participating in a school conference, in a university conference, and now finally at a Raffles Hotel conference, which is not any conference as I mentioned, it's a full sequel.
Okay. Now, supposing that, I'm sure that supposing that the young people, like the people who want to join the the Cambodian Model United Nations, suppose that they already signed up for it. Okay, how should they prepare for it from your experience? How should they prepare, to get the best out of the experience?
Sure. So as I mentioned, within 2 weeks prior to the start of the conference, they will be handed study guides regarding the topics.
Yeah.
So in which case, right now, if they were to apply early, which is still, right now we still have around 36 days, if I'm not mistaken, they can still start already researching about their countries as soon as they are assigned those countries. Good? Now, with regards to the actual study guides, they will be prepared by the chairs. And those study guides will be primarily to give them some information about what the actual situation is for that topic and how they would like to improve it. How they would like to improve it would be in their country's perspective and their personal opinionated perspective. But the actual study guide will be in such a way where the study guides will actually be about the topics and how they will be approached.
Nice. That's all for my question. So again, the deadline is March 8th.
Correct.
Yeah. So you guys, especially the young people out there, you want to try this. It's gonna be fun. And trust me, having part of it, it's gonna be fun. A bit tough, challenging, but it's gonna be fun, and you will get a lot of experience. Fahed, I run out of my question here, but I want you to look at the camera and speak to our audience for like 1 minute. What do you want to talk to them, especially those who want to sign up for the Model United Nations? Sure.
Well, prior to those that would like to sign up for the Model United Nations, what I would like to seek first is, of course, for Dr. Narong, the Minister of Education, to assist us in putting the word out regarding this Cambodia Model United Nations initiative. We would like to have such a request put in place where in schools and universities are actually requested to send in delegations, in which case Cambodia is actually put on the map every step of the way where we go to other conferences. Aside from that, I would also like to mention that for delegates that are applying, to be motivated even more, what we have as guests of honors as of now are Miss Shin Yubin, Miss Min Sonita, and Mr. Kat Vaihang. So for us to have these three idols from Cambodia as guests of honors, it will motivate you to join, because they are your role models. And if your role models themselves are actually interested to join such an educational conference, please be motivated to join this initiative.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much for talking with us today.
For sure.
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, especially the youngster, I may be a bit too old, but maybe I'm gonna join this as well. So, why not come and join us, and let's see what Cambodian young people can do. That's it for this episode, and we're gonna see you next week. Bye bye.
Perfect. Take care. Bye bye.